First, back to one of our other main stories. Everybody wants good value for money, and when you're paying thousands of pounds for your education, it's no exception. With university students having to take on big loans to pay their fees, many are becoming more demanding about the quality of their tuition, and more are complaining when it doesn't come up to scratch.
Well, to talk about this, we're joined by Professor Michael Thorne, who's Vice-Chancellor at Anglia Ruskin University, and Kate Little, who graduated this summer and now works for Manchester University Students' Union. Good morning, thanks for coming in, especially on a Saturday. Let's talk to you, Kate, to start with. Tell me about your experiences, because you weren't happy with the course you were getting, were you?
No. Towards the end of last year, the law school at Manchester said they were going to cut our contact hours from 30 per semester down to 20. No consultation with students, and the only justification given, was that the academics wanted to do more research.
And when you say contact hours, that's the face-to-face time that you have with your tutors?
Yeah, lectures and seminars, the only time we actually get directed learning.
So that's really important for students, isn't it? Is there some kind of recourse? Do you offer them recourse? If they don't like what they're getting in the course, if they don't think they're getting enough, what do you offer them?
Well, we have a sort of ongoing dialogue with the students, really, through, for example, our own Students' Union, and also every different degree programme will have a course representative who in our university is actually trained by the Students' Union to better be able to advocate on students' behalf and therefore, make sure that dialogue exists.
Since they're having to pay so much now, are you noticing that the number of complaints are increasing?
Yes, it's still, relatively speaking, to more than 2 million students in the university system, it's still a tiny number of complaints. And remember that our students, in my institution, with 28,000 students, and we basically live with those students. They are there, day by day, week by week, year after year. So the number of complaints is still very, very tiny. But I'm not surprised they've increased, because, of course, if any of us are paying £10,000 for something, then I don't know about you, but I'm looking for real customer service for that amount of money. Indeed, even the odd bit of touching the forelock, I would say.
It's this kind of consumer approach to people. Isn't people complain if they don't get value for money? Is it a consumer approach by students standing up for their rights, or is it, as Kate was suggesting, that actually the standard of courses isn't as good as it was?
Well, I think there's absolutely no evidence for that. The standard of courses by any international judgment in the UK is admired by the rest of the world's university system, so that's not the issue. And we do have to remember it's not just consuming. Students don't arrive, pay the money and then walk away with a product. The best analogy I've got is it's like when you go to a gym. You can't pay your gym subscription and hope that you'll be fit the minute the subscription's gone into the gym's bank. You've got to do some work and work with the gym, and the same applies when you come to university. So it's a partnership, and we have to work together, and therefore that dialogue that was spoken about is really, really very important.
I'm interested in what you think as well, Kate, because presumably you're studying law, presumably because at some stage you want to become a lawyer, solicitor, whatever it is. It's really important to you, isn't it? Do you think there should be a kind of more formalised approach, perhaps, where you go to a certain university, you know what you're going to get, and that's going to be guaranteed?
To some extent, that's what students expect already. They're given an outline of their course in their prospectus. If it doesn't match up to these expectations, then I think that the university has broken its side of the partnership that Martin was talking about before.
But universities are about research as well, aren't they? In your case, you're saying that your lecturers are going to spend more time on their own research, writing books, than doing face-to-face time with you. But that is also part of their job, and long-term, that helps students if they're better read, better educated, have made new discoveries.
That may be true, but as I said before, 75% of institutions' funding comes from tuition fees and from the HEFKE grant from government. So I think institutions need to recognise that teaching should be their number one priority, although the research can help them to teach people and educate them better.
Can I just pick up on one of those points as well that Kate was talking about? Do you think that it should be more formalised? When I went to university, there was no kind of contract or anything between me and the university. Should it be more formalised, or was that not a good idea?
I certainly think that each institution should make it absolutely clear what the deal for its students is. There's no question about that. I would not personally want to get the relationship between a university and its students on a contractual basis. It seems to me we have a much richer partnership with our students in universities than that. But I think, saying at the beginning of a course, here's what the deal is for each university is a very good idea, yes.
OK, interesting. Thank you very much. Thanks, both.
Thanks for coming in.